Well, this is John Black, Super Chemist. I want you to realize, I'm going to play a couple-minute video here, but I want you to realize that when they talk about the tube, they're talking about the machine, the propaganda machine, like the Facebook, CNN, Fox News, the AI that does TikTok, and all, that's the internet itself. That's the tube, okay? So when you watch this thingy here, you'll see.
If you wish to destroy an area, how do you do it? Well, there are two ways. You can go in there and bomb it and so forth, but that is not very efficient. What you do is you try to get the people in that area to kill each other and to destroy their own territory, their own farms. And that's what's been done in that area. The way in which you destroy an opponent is get him to destroy himself by dividing his ranks against one another. Then you feed both sides. You have agents feeding both sides, inflaming both sides, and they kill each other off. And it's time that some of us woke up to this reality, to understand that people who try to maintain empires and create empires do it by manipulating the people they're trying to conquer.
You might want to ask yourself why the entire culture is utterly saturated with mass media entertainment from all sides. While the educational system in America continues its stupefying downward slide since the U.S. government decided to take over and subsidize the public school system.
What your government pays for, it gets. When we understand that, then we look at government-financed institutions of education and see the kind of students and the kind of education that's being turned out by these government-financed schools. Logic will tell you that if what is being turned out in those schools was not in accord with what the state and the federal government wanted, then it would change it. The bottom line is that the government is getting what they have ordered. They do not want your children to be educated. They do not want you to think too much. That is why our country and our world has become so proliferated with entertainments, mass media, television shows, amusement parks, drugs, alcohol, and every kind of entertainment to keep the human mind entertained, so that you don't get in the way of important people by doing too much thinking. You had better wake up and understand that there are people who are guiding your life and you don't even know it.
We're in a lot of trouble because you people and 62 million other Americans are listening to me right now, because less than 3% of you people read books, because less than 15% of you read newspapers, because the only truth you know is what you get over this tube. Right now, there is an entire generation that never knew anything that didn't come out of this tube. This tube is the gospel, the ultimate revelation. This tube can make or break presidents, popes, prime ministers. This tube is the most awesome goddamn force in the whole godless world. And woe is us if it all falls into the hands of the wrong people. And when the largest company in the world controls the most awesome goddamn propaganda force in the whole godless world, who knows what shit will be peddled for truth on this network. So you listen to me. Listen to me. Television is not the truth. Television is a goddamn amusement park. Television is a circus, a carnival, a traveling troupe of acrobats, storytellers, dancers, singers, jugglers, sideshow freaks, lion tamers, and football players. We're in the boredom-killing business. But you people sit there day after day, night after night, all ages, colors, creeds. We're all you know. You're beginning to believe the illusions we're spinning here. You're beginning to think that the tube is reality and that your own lives are unreal. You do whatever the tube tells you. You dress like the tube. You eat like the tube. You raise your children like the tube. You even think like the tube. This is mass madness, you maniacs. In God's name, you people are the real thing. We are the illusion.
last thing the power establishment wants is a conscious, informed public capable of critical thinking. This is why a continually fraudulent zeitgeist is output via religion, the mass media, and the educational system. It is in their interest to keep you in a distracted, naive bubble. And they are doing a damn good job of it.
Well, I'm in a bad mood because I've been trying to get this video done for like 3 hours now. And oh my God, my computer just keeps screwing up on me or whatever. So hopefully this is, this one and maybe one more video about Pastafarian rules, and then we'll start a new playlist. And I'm thinking I'm going to call it Trump's racism, and then the next video called Biden's racism. And we'll compare the two when it comes to being racist. On the last video, though, I was bringing up how, never use personal truth. That's actually a communist scientific term. It's not like some good thing. And how that was a sin. I wanted to bring up 3 things in these commandments or these rules that I'm bringing up that are not related to women. In other words, only men need to follow these rules. Women need to follow them also, but when they don't, it's not really considered a sin. The 3 things that I wanted to bring up under that category was the one thing about personal truth. Just because, if I had my mother be murdered by my father in front of me when I was 5, and I have 10 friends that have the same situation happen to them, that doesn't mean that I can interpolate that across the whole country and sit and think, oh, that happens in everyone's life, because the data says that that isn't the way life works for most people. So your personal truth is crap, really. You know what I mean? Data is what matters. Now this, if a woman uses her personal truth, like I said, it's wrong for her to do, but it's not as much a sin as it is for a man. Another thing would be bringing up a small minority and saying the minority represents everyone. Again, this is similar to personal truth. You're bringing up, a small minority, or you're, you might, a woman that works at a battered woman's clinic, all she does is hear the horrible stories all day, and then she's interpolates that to the whole country, even though she's only seeing the worst of the worst of the worst, a very small fraction of men being horrible, and she's interpolating that all across the whole country, when that is not the case. You know what I mean? Again, this is a sin for the man. It's wrong for a woman, but it's not a full sin. And another example that would be like if I say, hey, it's easy to win the lottery for millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, and then you say no, because the data says that only a very small percentage win, and it's like really like 1 out of a trillion that you're going to win, your odds. And then the guy says, no, you're wrong, because everyone wins the lottery for millions of dollars every week. So it must be easy to do, right? It happens out, but the data does not suggest that that's true. See what I'm saying? That's a sin. For a woman, though, not as much. Facts over emotion. This is something that a woman should not do. It's wrong for her to do. But is it considered really a sin if a woman does it? No, not really. Not in the Pastafarian religion, okay? Those are the only 3 rules that I'm bringing up right now that are different. Men and women have different rules in the Pastafarian religion. Not all of them, just some of them. So let's get done with this list here, and hopefully I can get done with this. I think this one I already went over. Remember, you have to, as a Pastafarian, you have to say that it's a fact. The best family unit is a man and a woman. The best, and what's funny is the best marriage, if you don't have kids, would be a gay marriage between a man and a man. Okay. The better marriage would be between a man and a woman, and then the worst marriage is between a woman and a woman. Okay. Why? Well, because when a man and a man gets together, they have a 75% success rate. A man and a woman has a 50% success rate, and a woman has a 25% chance of success. So the more women you put into the marriage, the less of your success. The statistics say that you will be less. It's harder to get a successful marriage the more women are involved. But since you have children, and I'm sure that man-on-man marriage would be just as good almost to a child raising a child. But because you don't see the man, most kids are going to be straight, man. So I mean, if you see a man and a woman couple, and that's your mom and dad, you can see the traits. Those traits can be taught to the child. But when you have two men, even though they might be the better couple by themselves, but when they have the kid, they can't teach that because it's not taught by words. It's taught by the kid seeing it. The kid seeing it, and that's, you know what I mean? That's how it's taught, and you can't teach it with words. So therefore, the two dads situation is not as good. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure that two dads raising a child, the success rate is almost similar to a man and a woman, okay? So, but because of that one reason, the kid needs to see, a man and a woman. Because it's gonna, if he's a gay kid, then then the two dads is probably the best situation with that kid, okay? But in general, most people are straight enough to where they're considered straight. But the thing is you gotta acknowledge that, because that's with the Pastafarian religion. That's what it is. The foundation of the Pastafarian religion isn't to get into heaven. It isn't to pray and praise God and all that kind of garbage like in the Christian religion. No, it's about the family unit and society as a whole and the whole global community. That's what it's about. Okay. Another thing about the Pastafarians is you have to understand and understand that there's a saying, we learn our history so that we don't repeat it. Okay, see, that's a famous saying. If you're a Pastafarian, you should hate that saying, okay? Because that's a stupid saying. We do not do that. What the saying in the Pastafarian world is, hey, we should learn from our history so we don't repeat it, but we don't. So we need to change that. That's what the saying gets changed to in Pastafarian land. Okay. Let's see. Governments embezzle money, and they do that literally, and also what I'm really talking about is the other way that they embezzle, which is meaning they'll pass laws so that their businesses get business, and then they get kickbacks with, either actual kickbacks or they'll get money for their next election. You know what I mean? You pass a law for me where I make this part for the government. Oh, now my business makes a lot of money with this contract. When next election, I'm going to donate a whole bunch of money to your fund. It's all, and then they never use the money. You know what I mean? You give the government $1, they're going to spend, 70, 80, 90% of it just to fucking do the program that they're doing. And then the lousy 10 cents of that dollar, that's left over, that's what they'll give to the poor. That's what they'll give to the social program. That's what they'll give to the whatever. I'm running out of time, so I'm going to just hit the button and be back on the next whatever. Seems I'll have a great day. Hopefully this... Oh, yes, it did. It worked. Thank God. This took all day to do this video. I tell you what.